You may have heard it said that you can't improve on perfection. Well, the folks at XS Sights seem to be doing their best to prove that wrong. You know I like XS Sights, especially their DXT2 big dots, and I insist on having them on any pistol that I carry for self-defense. Well, I'm really excited today to introduce to you for the first time the new DXT2 PRO sights from XS Sights. We're going to take a look at these, take it to the range, see how they perform. Coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me for a look at these brand new XS Sights DXT2 PRO big dot sights, and a big thank you to the folks at XS Sights, not only for sending me these sights so I could show them to you, but also for being a channel sponsor. After so many years of using their sights, I'm really happy to have them as a channel sponsor. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at these things and see what sets them apart from the previous or the DXT2 standard sights, and take you to the range, watch these things perform. But first, a little bit of ranting about why I like these big dot sights so much and how they work, what sets them apart, I think, from other sights. And to do that, we're gonna use some high-tech visual aids. So we'll start with that. So if you're familiar with handgun sights, you may know that most common sights are some kind of variation of this notch and post sight, where you have a rear sight that has a notch in it or a groove or some sort of opening, and a front sight that has a post. Sometimes they've got a dot on them, sometimes whatever, that goes in the center. And the way you aim this is you center the notch, you center the post in the notches, and then you line the top, center even, make them even on top. And typically you want to put this part here, top of the post, that is in line with the top of the notch, centered on whatever your target is, whatever you're aiming at. So you can see that gives you a pretty precise, accurate aiming point, but it's also kind of slow because you got to make sure you got that lined up, and if you have it down or up or to the side or whatever, and if you're looking for, like, your life's on the line, you don't really have a whole lot of time to fiddle with them. So XS sights are a derivative of the express sights that were in use in Africa on a lot of old safari guns, because if something's charging at you that wants to eat you, you don't have time to be fooling around trying to line up notches. So here's my artist representation of an XS sight, and the rear sight has a very shallow V notch, and with a bar under it, either tritium or non-tritium. It's either white or it's white with tritium in it. And then the front sight has a big old dot on it. And the way you line these up is you basically dot the eye with the big old dot, and then you put this center of this dot, center it right on your target. So for example, if you're using notch and post sights, then you're trying to make a headshot, you would center this like right there, and that would be your point of aim. If you're using a big dot sight, put the dot right there, that's your point of aim. It's a lot faster than trying to line up those things. Also, for me especially, as my eyes have gotten older, I wear these progressive lens glasses, which means that distance is up here, and if I want to look at something up close, I have to look through the bottom of the lenses, which means that basically, by the way, we're safe here. If I'm trying to really get a really close look at my front sight, or it's not standing out at me, I kind of have to tilt my head way back here to see it, and that's probably not the best, most effective tactical stance to have in. But with the big dot, I can pick that thing up, and I don't have to do anything. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit blurry. It's big enough. It catches my attention. I can see that it's in the groove. I can see that the eye is dotted, and I can make a hit like this one. My very first cold shot hit, draw from concealment at 15 feet, bang, just as fast as I could legitimately do it, and I was pretty happy with that. So for me, big dot sights are kind of like the non-electronic version of a pistol-mounted optic, and they just get the job done. And really, for me, I like them better than red dots optics because there's no hunting for the dot. You don't have to train yourself to find the dot. The dot's just there. It's big and it's colorful. Okay, so let's talk about the differences between the DXT2 PRO and the DXT2 Standard. First of all, the first obvious difference is the color of the dot. The luminescent material on the PRO is green, and on the Standard it is either yellow or orange. And this one happens to be yellow, obviously. The second difference is the finish on the sights themselves. The Standard has black oxide and the Pro has black nitride, which is more durable. Although I'll say, just to be fair, this is the OG white one, and it's got to be 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10 years old, and it is absolutely looks just fine. So, like I said, they're improving on perfection. And then finally, the only other difference is and you can barely see it here, but the tritium vial in the front sight of the Pro version is slightly smaller than the tritium vial in the front sight of the standard version, which gives them a little more protection around it, lets them put a little more adhesive in there, and so it makes it theoretically stronger. Although again, not had any issues with any of mine. I thought it'd be interesting to take a look. We'll go in as dark as I can and see if you can tell a difference between the two. Okay, here in as complete a darkness as I can get, as focused as I can make it, is a comparison between the DXT2 standard on the left and the DXT2 Pro on the right. And you might can tell just a little bit of difference in the size of the tritium and maybe in the brightness. I can't tell. They said the new one's a little bit less bright because of the size, but I can't tell. And that's out at maybe 2 feet. That's kind of arm's length. Bring it back in close. You can see they're very bright. And again, there's some very, very, very rare reasons indeed to shoot in total darkness, but they certainly just kind of help all together in low light. Okay, so next we're going to go to the range and take a look at these sights in action. Oh, and by the way, as you're watching this footage, just notice how brightly and how well that green dot stands out in that dim light of the indoor range, even against a white background. Stands out so great on video. Just imagine how well it stands out at arm's length. Now let's go shoot. This is a drill I like to do every single time I go to the range. Cold, very first shot, just like it would be in real life. Stop! I'll take that. Okay, so got these new XS DXT2 Pro big dots with a green dot. So aim small, hit small. And we're going to take this thing out at different ranges. And my goal is to center this dot directly over the target. Starting at 10 feet, we'll move it out and see what happens. You see, at 10 foot, we're a little high, actually, but that's not bad. Okay, that was most likely me. This was, I think, my first shot, second shot, and third shot. Okay, so we've got one here, one here, one here. But we've got one. It's like we doubled one here, doubled another one here. Another flyer up here. That was me. But everything else somewhere in here. Ouch. Jerked another one. Call that one a dead grandma. Okay, at 70, I'm going to say they're all in here somewhere. Maybe that's one. But just to be sure, I'll go for some headshots now just to get out of this clutter and see how well that happens. Got one in the old ear here and two there. So, and that again is with this dot centered here. Okay, warts, flyers, and dead grandmas and all. That was a look at how effective these XS Sights DXT2 Pro big dots are in the hands of even a less than stellar marksman. We'll say it that way. From 15 feet at a cold shot to 75 feet headshots. If I did my part and didn't move the barrel when I pressed the trigger, XS Sights did their part and helped me to get on target quickly and follow up quickly. And so it's no big surprise that I highly recommend these things. They have so many advantages to every other sights I've ever tried that I'm never going back. I'm just going to tell you, if you are looking for the absolute best sights in any light, I highly recommend XS Sights. I really sincerely appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared in any light. I'll see you next time.